Unbothered, mastering the art of emotional control. Have you ever wished you could stay calm no matter what life throws at you? Imagine walking through a storm, but instead of getting soaked in chaos, you carry an invisible umbrella that keeps you steady. That umbrella is emotional control. Being unbothered doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned to master your reactions, so the world no longer pulls your strings. In this video, we'll explore how you can develop this art step by step, like building a mental shield that protects your peace. Let's begin. Body. Understanding emotional triggers. The first step to emotional control is recognizing your triggers. Think of triggers like buttons inside you. When someone pushes them, you react instantly. Sometimes with anger, sometimes with sadness, sometimes with panic. Maybe a coworker's tone sets you off. Maybe being ignored makes you feel invisible. Maybe criticism takes you straight back to childhood wounds. These reactions aren't random, they are connected to past experiences stored deep in your brain. A psychiatrist would call this conditioning. Your brain has learned to associate certain situations with danger or rejection. That's why your reactions feel automatic. But once you can identify these triggers, you can pause before they control you. Try this. For 1 week, write down the moments you feel an emotional surge. Note what happened, who was involved, and what you felt. By tracking them, you'll start to see patterns. And awareness is the beginning of control. The pause, buying time for your mind. Imagine this. You receive a message that upsets you. Your heart races, your fists clench, and you want to reply immediately. But in that exact moment, you still have power. The power of the pause. Pausing even for 10 seconds gives your emotional brain time to cool down and lets your logical brain catch up. This is not avoidance. It's a strategy. In therapy, we call it affect regulation. It's the ability to delay reaction until you've gathered enough clarity to respond. You can count to 10, take 3 deep breaths, or even excuse yourself to the bathroom. Those small acts create just enough distance between the trigger and your response. With practice, this pause becomes automatic. Instead of exploding in anger or drowning in sadness, you buy time for wisdom to enter, reframing the story in your head. Here's a secret. It's not the event itself that upsets you. It's the story you tell yourself about it. Let's say a friend cancels plans. One story might be they don't value me. Another story might be they're probably overwhelmed right now. Same event, 2 different meanings, 2 very different emotions. This is what psychologists call cognitive reframing. By changing the way you interpret situations, you shift your emotional reaction. Think about how many times you've been upset, not because of the fact itself, but because of the meaning you attach to it. Someone doesn't reply to your text and your brain says they must not care. But another possible story is they're caught up with their own struggles. Both stories feel real, but only one keeps you calm. You can try this whenever you feel hurt. Ask yourself, what's another possible explanation? Am I assuming the worst? Could there be a kinder perspective? Reframing doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means opening your mind to new angles so you don't get trapped in one painful version of the story. When you practice this, you train your brain to give you options, not just judgments. And with more options, you always find more peace. Building your emotional muscles. Think of emotional control like building body strength. You don't get strong after one workout. You get stronger by practicing again and again. The same goes for your mind. The exercises are simple, but they only work if you repeat them. Deep breathing is not just taking air in. It tells your body to calm down. When you breathe slowly, your heartbeat slows, and your stress starts to melt away. It's like pressing a reset button inside you. Mindfulness means paying attention to your feelings without letting them control you. Imagine anger like dark clouds in the sky. Without mindfulness, you are stuck inside the storm. With mindfulness, you are standing on the ground just watching the clouds pass. The storm is still there, but it no longer throws you around. Journaling means writing your feelings on paper. When you write, the thoughts leave your head and stop spinning in circles. You don't bury your feelings, you release them in a safe way. At first, these things might feel strange, like trying to do push-ups when your arms are weak. But the more you practice, the stronger you become. And with time, the problems that used to break you will barely shake you. That is real emotional strength. Detachment without coldness. Many people confuse being unbothered with being cold, but true detachment is not shutting people out, it's setting boundaries around your inner peace. Imagine holding a delicate snow globe. That globe is your emotional world. Detachment means you don't hand it to just anyone. You protect it carefully, while still being kind and compassionate. This balance is what psychiatrists call healthy boundaries. You stay empathetic, but you don't absorb everyone else's storms. Their chaos is theirs, not yours. Detachment allows you to love without losing yourself. It's the difference between supporting a drowning friend and jumping into the water without a life vest. Replacing reactivity with response. Reactivity is when emotions control you. Response is when you control emotions. Let's take anger as an example. A reactive person snaps, yells, or slams doors. It happens instantly, like a fire-catching spark. But a responsive person feels the same anger rising, notices it, and chooses to pause. They take a breath, reframe the situation, and then speak with intention. The fire is still there, but they've learned to manage it instead of letting it burn the house down. The same applies to anxiety. Reactivity means your thoughts spiral into worst-case scenarios. You imagine every possible disaster. Response, on the other hand, means grounding yourself, feeling your feet on the floor, taking one slow breath and asking, what part of this can I control right now? This brings your mind back from the storm into the present moment. The difference is power. When you're reactive, you're like a puppet being pulled by strings you don't see. When you're responsive, you cut the strings and take charge. It's like upgrading from being a passenger in your own life to becoming the driver. Steady hands on the wheel even when the road gets rough. Self-talk is therapy. Your inner voice has more influence than you realize. It's with you all day, shaping how you see yourself and how you feel. If that voice is critical, saying things like I'm worthless or I always mess up, your emotions will spiral and even small setbacks will feel crushing. But the good news is this, you can retrain that voice. Think of it as turning your inner critic into an inner coach. Try replacing harsh thoughts with compassionate ones. Instead of I failed, shift it to I'm still learning. Instead of I can't handle this, reframe it into this is hard, but I'm capable of figuring it out. Psychologists call this process cognitive restructuring. Over time, these small shifts create new neural pathways in your brain. It's like rewriting the script of how you talk to yourself. At first, it may feel forced, but consistency makes it natural. Slowly, you stop being your own enemy and start becoming your strongest ally. The voice in your head that encourages, steadies, and lifts you when life feels heavy. Practicing emotional immunity. Think of emotional control like immunity. Just as your body builds resistance against viruses, your mind can build resistance against negativity. This doesn't mean you'll never feel pain or frustration. It means those feelings won't linger or dominate you. They pass through like clouds instead of turning into storms. How do you build this immunity? By exposing yourself gradually to stress in safe ways through challenges, discomfort, or healthy debates. Each time you handle it without collapsing, your tolerance grows stronger. Life will always test you, but with emotional immunity, you bounce back faster every time. The role of compassion. The final step is compassion, both for yourself and for others. When you practice self-compassion, you stop carrying shame like a heavy backpack. You realize that mistakes don't define you. They're proof that you're human, learning and growing. Self-forgiveness is not weakness, it's the courage to say, I am more than my past. And when you extend compassion to others, you free yourself from the poison of bitterness. Forgiveness doesn't mean you excuse their harmful behavior or invite it back into your life. It simply means you refuse to let anger live rent-free in your mind. A compassionate mind is naturally unbothered. Why? Because compassion creates understanding. You begin to see that everyone, even those who hurt you, are carrying battles you cannot see. Their words, their actions, their mistakes, their reflections of their own struggles, not proof of your worth. The moment you truly embrace this, life feels lighter. The same insults that once cut deeply become whispers you no longer absorb. Compassion transforms pain into wisdom and turns you into someone unshakable. And that, more than anything else, is the essence of emotional control. Emotional control is not about being emotionless, it's about being calm in the storm, the anchor in the chaos, the steady light in the darkness. When you master this art, you become unbothered. Not because life is easy, but because you've built the strength to handle it. So remember, know your triggers. Use the pause. Reframe your stories. Train your emotional muscles. Practice detachment with compassion. Replace reactivity with response. Build your inner immunity and lead with compassion. Do this and nothing outside of you will ever control the peace inside you. Stay calm, stay steady, stay unbothered. If this session helped you feel lighter, imagine what steady practice could do for your life. Subscribe now, and let's keep building the calm, unshakable version of you together.